Welcome back to BGP. This is a very tragic story that we're about to discuss, but we have to talk about it. Last week, a young lady, and I'm trying to find it, give me 1 second here. Tatiana. She's 29 years old. She has 4 children, ages ranging from 9, 8, 4, and 2, along with her mother, Yvette, 48, and her 13-year-old son found themselves homeless in Detroit, Michigan. They were in a minivan parked on the 9th floor of a casino in Greektown. She said she woke up the next day to wake up her children to get them ready for school and discovered that the 9-year-old was not breathing. She called her cousin. Her cousin came to transport the 9-year-old to the hospital. Her mother dialed 911 because she noticed that the 2-year-old was also not breathing. They both are now unalived due to hypothermia, which is being frozen to death. Your thoughts, Adrian?
That story was so heartbreaking, but like I mentioned in our chat, I had so many questions. Something that just does not sit well with me. First and foremost is you must have really burned a whole bunch of bridges that you didn't have nowhere that you could go, like nowhere. Like a friend, like, and then where in Detroit, I'm sure they have places that are set up for those that, especially with children, because usually they take you to the front of the line. You got some babies with you in the shelters that I deal with in LA County. If kids are involved, they're gonna really push to get you in a bed or in a place where you could at least be warm. I don't know if this young lady, this mother, has some mental health issues, if she has some drug addiction issues. I don't know what her problem is or why she found herself in this situation. But it's really sad. And something the math ain't mathing. Something don't sound right to me.
Nisha Williams?
So, I had to like kind of look into some stuff and look into research to see kind of what happened. And one, they didn't automatically rule hypothermia. They also said that there's a chance that it could have been carbon monoxide because when she was trying to wake her son and she said she started doing CPR, she noticed that it was black and green liquid that was coming out of his mouth, even though he wouldn't wake up. And when she rushed to take him to the hospital, the mother and them stayed in the car. So they didn't even know that the other daughter was unresponsive until after she had already was telling them, I need help. I need somebody to help me. My son is not waking up and I've been doing CPR and all that stuff. I don't think it was actually hypothermia. I actually think they're going to, when it comes out, it's going to be carbon monoxide because once she said that green and black liquids was coming out of his mouth, I was like, yeah, that's not hypothermia. That's carbon monoxide poisoning. So if she had her car going on all that time in that little garage, I think eventually that car, that poison was able to get into that van, and it probably was an older van. So, it was a bad move on her part. And then two, so she had her 4 kids and it was her. And then the mother, we found out, because people were saying that she had 5 kids, but it turns out, no, she had 4. Her mommy, who was also homeless in that car with her, had 2 kids as well. So it was 6 kids in the van plus mommy and her kids. Her. And so from what they were saying when the mayor and different people have interviewed, when she was going to the different shelters, they said that it would require special conditions because of all the kids. You got 6 kids plus the 2 adults. And so she said they was being turned away back in November. And when she was trying to reach out to friends and family, she was staying with friends and family in November. And I guess one day that family was like, you got to go. You and your kids got to go. So if I'm being honest, I know how I feel when people come around with all their kids, and I be like, shit, when are they leaving? Like, I know how I feel. And so I'm thinking, because it was a lot of kids, different age ranges and whatnot, I think probably people were probably saying,
You gotta go.
no, or you can stay for the night, but you gotta go, or you can stay tomorrow, but you gotta go. I don't necessarily know if she burned bridges. I think that it was because she was coming with a lot of kids. People were just like, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Mhm.
That's my thinking. That was my thinking after looking at that, Mona.
Let's go back.
Mm-hmm.
They said she was in a van for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
They said that she did have a physical address, which was an apartment complex on the east side of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of made me think that they had got evicted.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about evictions. When you get evicted, you have a rent. Rent is due on the 1st, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Some people get to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and they might get lucky to get to the 5th
Yeah.
before it's late. Now, before you get evicted, you know you don't have the rent money for next month.
Right.
Mhm.
These are 2 adults.
Right.
You know you're not going to have the money. So what are you going to do? Do you wait for the 3-day rent or quit? Because in California, after
3 days,
you got 3 days to get out.
Yeah.
They want you out.
Yeah.
Now, what did you do after the 3-day rent or quit? If you're not out in 3 days, then they have to go down to the courthouse and process some paperwork so that they can serve you to get out. And they're going to be there with the sheriff.
Mhm.
So now they're going to serve you. So
Mhm.
you might have 24, 48, 72 hours. I don't know what it is,
Mhm.
state to state,
Mhm.
to be out. Now, what are you going to do? What's the first thing you're going to do if you are getting evicted? You're going to go look for an apartment, right?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so maybe they couldn't have found an apartment because now you got to do 3 times the rent.
And
they
you got eviction.
But you ain't got eviction yet. But
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Immediately, once you know
Yeah.
that you can't pay, you need to get your butt out there and go find you a place. You don't got time to be picky. You don't got time to be talking, I want to live in the best neighborhood.
Mhm.
Whoever will let your ass in, you need to get up in there before
Yeah.
that
Kids.
eviction
Yes.
hits.
Yeah.
Now, I'm thinking they did get an eviction. They didn't have any money to get another apartment. And so they were trying to stay there as long as they could. And remember, no, I'm off. So now, when the sheriff comes to evict you, they might be generous and give you 30 minutes to get your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might say, oh, no, you got to go
You
right
got to
now.
go now. Mhm.
So before the sheriff came, if I was them, and I couldn't afford to go get some boxes and go get a U-Haul and put my stuff in storage, the first thing I'm grabbing is clothes. Because they said that 2-year-old was only in a T-shirt and a pamper, and that 9-year-old was only in a T-shirt. The first thing I'm going to do is grab all the clothes.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to grab my valuables, the birth certificates, the photo albums, my bills, whatever. Then I'm grabbing all the food out the house that we can eat right now and possibly eat later. They were in a 2002 Chrysler Townhouse minivan. That car is 23 years old.
Mhm.
I'm thinking in my mind that that car was not in good condition.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I too believe that it was carbon monoxide
Mhm.
because carbon monoxide has no scent
Mhm.
and it's quick.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Being cold is slow, and
Yeah.
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So had we had clothes, and they said they only had 2 blankets.
Mhm.
So I think their living conditions in that apartment was terrible.
Mhm.
Because I'm taking sheets, pillowcases,
I'm
comforters,
taking everything.
pillows.
If I'm gonna be living in a van,
If I'm
Yeah.
going to be living in a van.
Yeah.
So I think initially she didn't think she was going to be living in a van. I think she may have been on welfare. She may have went there and they gave her some hotel vouchers because she said she kept a hotel. Maybe not vouchers. Maybe that was the money that they had.
Yeah.
She was unemployed,
Yeah.
but her mama was still working.
Yeah.
So once they exhausted the funds, then when they started asking people, like Nisha said, yes, a whole lot of people. Me personally, my mother called me a social worker.
Mhm.
I would let anybody in my house. You got a sad story, I'll let you in. to the
It's
point of
freezing.
regret
Mhm.
for all of them. Those people don't even speak to me right now, but it still doesn't stop me from doing what I know that am supposed to do, and I get my rewards on the back end somewhere down the line.
Exactly.
But
Mhm.
yeah, once I'm going to agree,
Mhm.
once you've burnt all your bridges to the fact that nobody will let you come over, something is wrong.
Something's
Mhm.
wrong.
There is a mother that's supposed to have wisdom and discernment, and it's no way them two said the best resort is to sleep in the car. We mother and daughter, we got to get these kids.
Thank you.
Can you take these kids?
Okay.
They could have dropped them off at the fire department, the police department, turn them into CPS. Me and Nisha, mother daughter,
We get out there and
you gonna go get a job. I'm gonna keep working.
Uh-huh.
We gonna get our life together, get our money together, and we gonna come back and get these kids.
Exactly.
My babies is not gonna be frozen in a car.
Yeah.
No.
I can freeze.
Yeah.
Now we live in California. When it get to 50 degrees, maybe 60 degrees,
We
and we
already
gotta
like-
walk
We
to our
already-
car.
Exactly.
We like, ooh.
Exactly.
They said it was in the teens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They said it was in the teens. And she said that they had everything that they wanted. They were going to school. They were eating well. They had electronics and all the toys. She never whooped her kids. The only thing she didn't have was a house. They did not have everything.
They didn't have everything.
They did not have everything.
Yeah.
Not the most important shit.
Yeah.
Forget them electronics. Forget them toys.
Yes.
The baby daddy.
Well, hold on. Hold on, because the other thing too, because people was like, well, so she wasn't working, mommy was working. She was supposed to start her new job.
The girl.
Next week.
The mama.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She was supposed to start her new job as a CNA the week. Well,
Coming up.
Yeah, this coming Monday
Mm-hmm.
before all this happened, and so I guess she was working on getting back on her feet from working. Maybe because she lost her job, that set them back with rent. I don't know, but she was supposed to. To be fair, she was supposed to be working. We've talked about this, and I just say, like, as a mother, when you decide to bring a child into this world or children, right? You realize it's no longer about you.
Mm-mm.
It's about them.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
They're the priority.
That they are the priority.
Mhm.
So if because we're speculating eviction, and I really do think they were probably evicted. That's why they was out by
Mhm.
November, right before Christmas.
Mhm.
But if you are experiencing that, the first thing that I would think, like, okay, I'm unemployed and we don't have a house, I'm going to get some assistance. I'm going to the what you call it, the WIC. I'm going to the welfare office. I'm telling them that we homeless, we sleeping in a car, so they can put us up in hotels. They can get us some food. They can make sure that we are in some, something warm. That's the first thing that I would be doing, as opposed to just sleeping in the van. And she did say, and the mayor that gave his press conference and other representatives did say, she reached out in November to different shelters, but they did not follow up with her. And then she never followed back up after November. So there was no follow up after November on either side. And then, to be truthful, usually, I guess, if we reach out to the shelter or whatever and say, hey, I have kids and I'm homeless and I don't have a place to stay, they usually kind of try to figure, and you say, but I'm living in my car. They're going to be like, well, what street are you on? What address? Where are you staying? And they try to come investigate that because that's grounds for them to take the kid because it's unhealthy conditions. In that situation, no one would have been able to follow up with her because she was staying in a van up under a building, and not on a street, but up under a building of a casino. So they never would have been able to find them, which is
Yeah, because GPS don't work on the 9th floor in the casino.
True.
not under a building.
However, here's the thing, and I know with LA County, we're different from other
Detroit,
counties.
yeah.
Detroit,
Yeah.
But even the eviction process here is way different.
Well, it
you
takes
get your
a
3-day
longer-
acquit.
it
Yeah,
takes a
you
lot
could be
longer to get
months
evicted.
before you even get
Yeah.
out. And see, my thing is preparation.
Yeah.
If they done told you, okay, And clearly, I think they already know how the game is played.
Mhm.
You know you're gonna get evicted. Okay,
Mhm.
so here's the thing. Like you said, you let me go grab this. Let me go grab. You need to have your shit in a little basket.
Yep.
When they come with the sheriff lockout notice, have your shit ready to go.
Mhm.
Have it all ready and roll.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, while you know this is in process, you need to be calling around to see if you can get help. Usually, if you're receiving public assistance, there's a one time, and maybe they had already exhausted that. A one time, if you find yourself homeless, they will give you first and last to
Mhm.
get you a place. They don't want you on the street.
Mhm.
I mean, we got an abundance of people on the street out here right now,
Mhm.
but especially in Detroit where it can get below
Cold.
zero at times.
Yeah.
So I just think it was piss poor planning on the mamas, these two adult ass women who have these children, and you take the risk of these kids freezing to death.
Mhm.
It just says something about them as parents. I know all of us make mistakes in our
Yeah.
parenting,
Yeah.
but when you put your kid's life at risk because you have made a poor decision, and I'm not trying to be hard on them. I just know for me, if I have to turn a trick, I gotta do whatever I gotta do. My babies ain't exactly. My babies ain't gonna be in no van freezing to death. If I
Hey,
gotta
big
talk to
head.
old boy,
Hey, big
yeah,
head.
I'm calling
How you
somebody.
doing?
Exactly.
Hey, I
Girl,
love
you.
you.
Know me?
Yeah, I miss you. I miss
Shit,
you.
we I got the gift of gab when it comes to taking care of my babies.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, like I said, like I was mentioning, some bridges had to be burned. You done this shit over and over again. You and your mama is smoked out. I don't know what what is going on, but
Or
it's just
people tired of helping.
Yeah, that part.
They could be tired of helping. They could have been helping in the past. But something else that I was sitting there saying when I was talking to my guy friend about it, and I'm just like, so imagine if you come from a line of your mother is making these same choices and having children with men that's not helping out or whatnot. So you follow footsteps because you see this is what mommy do.
Right.
How do you know that it's wrong? How will you know it's wrong?
True.
So if she see
Seems
her
like the
mom
norm.
doing it, then that's probably why she's doing it. I can't even say that she's a drug addict. It could just be literally that she see her mom do it. So in her head, that's normal. Whereas to us, we like, I'm going to get help. I'm going to the welfare office. I'm going to tell them I'm staying in a hotel. I'm letting everybody in my, circle like, hey, I need help. This is temporary. Can you do this? I'm talking to all my exes. I'm talking to the men that sit there and be in them DMs.
Okay.
How you doing? Not good.
Okay.
I need to use some
holla at me.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm exhausting everything I can.
Yeah,
before,
there's no shame.
Yeah, there's no pride
None.
at all.
None.
At all. Because the cousin sit there and said, and even in the GoFundMe that they created, said that, she allowed her pride to get the best of her. Fuck that. With kids, there is no such thing as pride. At all. If you need help, you need help. Check this out. I'm broke. I'm struggling. We ain't got no food. Can you help me with some groceries?
Right.
We ain't got nothing in the house. Can you help me with this? My lights is off. Can you help me with that? We on the verge of being evicted. Can you help me? And she got 4 kids. So, and I'm just thinking Cali as opposed to Detroit. But in Cali, you got 4 kids. I mean, welfare office should be able to definitely get you on your feet.
Because
and
the
help
next
you.
thing is children's services is going to show up.
Yep.
And at that point, if I have to really think about, like you were saying, Mona, take my babies for right now. Let them be foster for a moment. Nobody wants their kids in foster care, but you don't want them on the street to die. They could possibly still be here if that was, and I don't know. It's just
as a mother,
sad.
you never want your children to see you struggling.
Exactly.
Never.
No,
They
wanna be the
eat, you
hero.
didn't, but they don't know you didn't
Thank
eat.
you.
They getting new stuff. They sheltered. They 2 things: your house and your car.
That's the
at all
main
times.
thing.
But here's the thing: it's about choices. She had a 9-year-old and an 8-year-old. She couldn't go to work. Who was gonna watch them babies?
Yeah.
Then you turn around and have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
You can't go to work.
Yeah.
Who gonna watch them children? Then her mother had her at 19, and then her mother turned around and had another little boy.
2.
They was both pregnant at around the same time. So like Nisha's saying, if we all on the county and my mama making it happen, I don't know no different because
Exactly.
I'm not
It's that
going
generational
outside my perimeter
Mhm.
to see that. We eat noodles, but the Asian family eating steak. I don't know the difference.
Exactly.
I think it was 2 people that made bad choices
Yes.
because that lady wasn't with Tatiana's daddy
Yeah.
and that 13-year-old father too. Where was that daddy? So yeah, they did burn a lot of bridges, and yeah, people were tired of being helpful, and probably was, why did you keep having baby after
That-
baby after
Mhm.
that
baby? I
part.
learned my lesson at once.
Exactly.
Same.
And they've already said, and there were many broadcasts about last year that were saying to take care of a child from 0 to 18 is $300,000.
And that's the basics.
That's basic.
Just the
That's
Shelter
the basics. That's
yeah.
not like sports if they in sports.
Toys,
That's not if they in,
none of
going
that.
on trips.
Birthday
That's
parties
not
and
yeah,
stuff like that.
That's basics.
So come on
Somebody
now.
right. Mm-mm.
She cried. Nobody. It took 2 of my babies to be unalive for you to help me. It's really not nobody's responsibility to help you. You are the custodian parent. You are supposed to make the right choices so that your children do not be in that predicament. Point blank. Period.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now we could talk about the daddy.
Ooh.
So the interviewer asked.
This nigga.
One of the interview, you said this. The interviewer asked him, did you know that, she was homeless, the kids was, and he was like, no, but I haven't seen my kids in almost 3 months. He was like, but I would FaceTime them though. And she, on her end, was saying, I told him we were homeless. I asked him to come get the kids. He told me he couldn't come get the kids. But I told him. So now you got he said, she said, because he's claiming he didn't know. But he did know he would FaceTime the kids every day. But he didn't go to see him or go get the kids. Thoughts?
Here we go. Let me talk.
Okay.
He said when she contacted him, he was on the treadmill. And she said, come get the kids because 2 of them were gone. He said he thought it was a sick joke.
Yep.
But it turned out it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Who jokes about their children being unalive? So like Nisha said, then they asked him, did he know that they were homeless? He said no. She just kept on calling him saying, please come get the kids, please come get the kids. But she never said they were homeless. And there's a difference between please come get the kids, please come get the kids.
And we homeless.
And we homeless. So y'all could quit with all the sob stories. That's what the brother said.
Yeah.
And when you looked at him, he was fully clothed for the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
He said he hadn't seen his children, 1 or 2 months, but he FaceTimed them. As women, when our children go with their daddies, you could call us nosy, you could call us whatever you want to. We want to know where you been, where you was at, what you had on, what you ate, what you drank, who was over there, and all that stuff.
Exactly.
So you mean to tell me that you was FaceTiming your children and the background was always in a car or a background was somewhere that was unknown and you never asked your children, where are you?
Mm-hmm.
That's a trifling ass man.
He is.
And let me say this before you come in, Adrian. If, and I'm going to be very generous right now, your child's mother is the primary custodian of your babies, let's say 80% of the time, and she randomly calls you frantic and asks you to please come get these babies, that means that she need a break. And if she needs a break, that means that she is broken mentally, emotionally, verbally, because she gonna start cussing these kids out. Domestically, the house is not going to be getting clean. There might not be no food being cooked. Spiritually, because she is broken. She is depressed because financially she is broke. And she got 4 kids and her brother and her mama looking at her. And mama has always been the superhero and she can't be the hero. Go get them babies.
Exactly.
Drop whatever the fuck you doing. Go get them babies and ask questions later. Here's the thing. Will we agree that most women are very territorial of their children?
Yes, absolutely.
Will we agree that we would rather have our children with us through bad times than to be without us be without us through good times? Would you agree that the baby daddy is the last man that you're going to call when you have a problem? And the reason why I'm saying it, because first of all, he probably gonna say no. Second of all, he's probably going to call up everybody and say, yeah, Mona going through hard times and, blah, blah, blah. Thirdly, he's going to come around, and I said has the children 20% of the time. Once he does come around, he's going to now be the superhero for the 20%. So he's the last dude, we call it. Yeah. We're going to exhaust everything before we call him. Go get your babies, because that's why women are unaliving their children, and sometimes themselves included, because they're at a point of desperation. You don't got time to be questioning why. Go get your kids. And you got to be a sorry motherfucker. I'm sorry to not want to go get your kids. You can say, screw Mona, half of you on your own. Like they say, suck a little, fuck a little, do what you got to do. But my babies is not going to be out in the cold. My babies is not going to be homeless. Use a cold ass daddy to sit there and know that you have not physically seen them, and you only seeing them on a phone. You know they disheveled. And the boy said, let me come down. My parents live right around the corner from her. And the man said, well, did she reach out to them? No, she didn't, but she could have. He said, I told her that I was working and we don't live close. So Mona, he lives in Novi, which is a very affluent neighborhood in Michigan. I did the distance between Novi and the Greek town casino. That was 31 miles. I did the distance between Novi and East Detroit. That was 29 miles. So we take that going to work. Long distance would be for me to go from Riverside to Bakersfield to see my son. That's a 3-hour drive. That's too far. Nigga, is you broke? You didn't have a car that you could go 30 minutes to check up on your kids? You couldn't get in the Uber, but you was working.
But you on the treadmill at the gym.
You was a trifling brother. And now 2 of your babies is gone. And I'm trying to think about the dynamics of the relationship. The first baby and the last baby is his. The 9-year-old and the 2-year-old is his. So which one was he? Because he has 3 by her. Was it the 8-year-old or the 4-year-old? So she was good enough to come and hit, but she wasn't good enough for you to be with her and take care of them babies. Had he came to the hospital, I'd been in jail, because I would have just started tearing his butt up. But at the end of the day, it's not his fault, because you know trifling when you know trifling. Yeah, exactly. And then you have to readjust and do what you got to do as a mother. I'm sorry, I went on.
No, that's okay. You said everything that I was thinking. My thing is, the daddy, like you said, he hadn't seen them kids in 3 months. You ain't shot him no money. You ain't shot him no grocery card. You ain't did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like you said, he's sorry as hell. And probably this is probably his pattern of not doing absolutely nothing anyway. So like you said, it was probably the last, she wasn't going to involve him unless she really, really had to. Like you said, she's broken, she's depressed, she's down. They not knowing what's gonna happen next, and you got this burden of your children right here that you want to do the right thing, and it is so sad because it was so preventable. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was a car accident when somebody this was so preventable. Had the right action been taken, had the right people got involved, had she done the right thing. It's just sad that daddy need to be charged with something.
I don't think he needs to be charged with nothing.
I don't know about neglect. I don't think he needs to be charged.
He's a parent, though.
He is.
The mother, she would be charged with.
But he's not. The kids are not in his custody.
He's not custodial parent. Right. True. Right. Was he? He
should be charged for not being a man. He should be charged for not being a provider and protector. And what they say, we problem solvers. You didn't solve nothing, right? Because you freaking knew, dude.
No, he ignored it. I mean, even now, he was like, when the interviewer asked him, like, what do you hope to come from this? His answer was just like, nothing.
Nothing.
2 of my kids is dead already. Nothing.
Wow.
So I'm assuming, I'm just assuming, that he's just like, I only got to worry about one now. Just one. Two gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how
Nothing can come of it
But
because
isn't there
they're
something
gone.
that he can be okay, because if you know that kids are being neglected,
Yes.
and you're not the custodial parent, but you are still their parent, and you
Mhm.
have record of them
Mhm.
contacting, and you're aware, right?
Mhm.
I mean, like, I don't know, I just want to see something happen to him.
I'll
His comment or his responses spoke to who he was.
yeah.
He
Piece
was
of
not
shit.
a great father.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was not a great baby daddy.
No.
It spoke to who he was. He got to live with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So I'll just say that
Let me ask you this. I'm sorry. Do you think the kids was going to school?
I think they were. I think they were. I actually believe that part. That part I don't doubt, because I think if they weren't, then that is when probably children's services would have been involved. I think that's the only thing that she kept up with, was them getting them to school. Like she said, she was getting them dressed that day to go drop them off.
But there's stuff that stand out to me that you would know that these kids are homeless.
Yeah.
If you're
You know
if
what I'm
you're paying
saying?
attention,
If
you're paying attention,
And
as,
I think
as a
as
mandated reporter, you're supposed
right,
to.
and
But,
you're supposed to.
but
As,
it's Detroit.
true.
I don't think that them kids was going to school on a daily basis. Where were they getting bathed?
They may not have been getting paid.
Because that's one of the top things
Because
that when you
as
were
a
a teacher,
teacher-
if they stinking,
As a teacher, they
that's
stinking.
That's
They clothes not ironed.
CPS.
Their behaviors
You gotta
are different.
report
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
I don't think those children were going to school.
Couldn't have
Yeah.
been.
But it's Detroit. You talking like Cali? That's Detroit.
Even more so with the
I don't care
weather
where it was.
conditions.
I don't
It's
think those children were going to
from
school.
from what I hear, Detroit is different from Cali.
Yeah.
Detroit City, especially them areas where she was at, is different from the school districts out here. Out here, mandated reporters don't play. They will pay attention. They
Mhm.
will look at if a child is disheveled. They are going to ask questions if they see her, he or she doing something that's odd. They pay attention to that. If the kids smell, they're going to look at that. Detroit, on the other hand, that area is different. I mean, and I'm not making excuses, but I mean, like she said, she was. That part I don't doubt, that she was taking them to school to keep up with the appearances or whatever. But
Here's why I'm going to say that I don't believe it. Because once she got evicted, she didn't have no. I don't know if they went to the post office and got a P.O. box for their mail to be transferred. And I think once she was out that system, if the population is great and we know that CPS or whoever, the county, has so many thousands of cases that if they didn't get back with her to help her, that they were out of the system.
yeah,
And once they called and nobody answered, because we don't answer numbers that we don't
No,
know.
recognize,
And he didn't
yeah.
say
Yeah.
the school system,
Yeah.
and she knew she didn't have no place for her babies.
Yeah.
I don't think those babies were going to school.
yeah,
Because if the little baby only had a T-shirt and they didn't have no clothes to go to school every day without it being an alert from somebody. The kids might have been, cracking jokes on them or whatever. For 3 months, I don't think she was
Why
doing
you
it.
ain't stealing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't going in and stole a couple blankets and shit and the baby some clothes? I don't
Before
get
they
it.
came from my 2-year-old, that baby wouldn't have just had a T-shirt and some jeans on. I would have tried to cover that up.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Both of them, something was wrong with them.
Gotta
Yeah.
be.
Mhm.
Gotta be.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'll just say this, as far as like accountability. We spoke on this earlier when we said we got the lesson the first time with one child. So if you know that after you had the first kid, he wasn't helping, don't have the second. You know, after you had the second kid, he wasn't helping, don't have the third. And in this case, let's be honest, she has 2 children's fathers. She has one of the kids is not his. That father is locked up. So she couldn't ask him for help, right? And then the other guy who was so nonchalant, he was responsible for the other 3. So that means she in turn, while the other one is locked up, went back to the other one and had that 4th child. Black women. I'm saying this as a single mom. Choose who you have kids with wisely. I really strongly do not encourage you to have kids if you are broke. I was called an elitist recently because I said that, and I stand on that shit. If you are broke and he is broke, do not have children. Do not. Because what message, what lesson are you teaching the kids? Why would you want to bring them into this climate like that? They got to sit there and deal with sleeping in a car. They got to sit there and deal with not having a house, not having a place to take a shower, not having a place to be warm. They got to sit there and hope and pray the car don't cut off. And as it was pointed out earlier, the van was old, like from 2002. No, if you can't afford to have children, don't have them. If you can't afford to get married, don't do it. If you can't afford to have a man that's going to step up and say, I got you, I'm marrying you, I will be responsible and protect not only you, but our future children, do not bring a child into this climate. Don't do it. Don't. Because we're seeing this happen more often. And the only person that's going to be held accountable is you. Stop having children with people that don't have your best interests at heart.
Right.
That's my initial thoughts on that. But final thoughts.
Just to piggyback off of something you said, and we need to, women need to be more educated on vaginal control.
Yep.
Making sure you it's so much, and it's not like back in the day when you would see commercial after commercial about Trojans, about birth control, Orthonovum. Is that brand still out? That was when
that?
what is that? That's a birth control pill. That was a brand back in the day. You remember that one?
I don't know nothing about birth control.
IUDs.
I'll be telling my business.
IUDs. There's so many different methods. The cup. I mean, come on, ladies. We like Nisha just alluded to. If you had two, even if you had one, if you had two, and you know good and goddamn well you cannot afford another baby to bring in this world and struggle. You know, it's hard enough struggling with the two you already got, and then you do it again, and you do it again, and then do it again. But like you said, this is learned behavior. She is watching her mom.
Yep.
So these are the things that we have to stop the generational curse. And we need to educate women more on properly taking care, making better decisions on when to lay up with these niggas that ain't gonna, if they not gonna do it, you gotta do it. You know what I mean? You gotta protect yourself. The urge is gonna be there to want to do it. You know, I get that. We all like it. But you have to be able to not have these babies and find yourself in a situation where you sleeping in a van with a whole bunch of kids that you can't take care of. I mean, we can go back and further back in this whole story. Is just sad. Poor decision after poor decision was made here. The children should have been the priority, even if you had to drop them off at the fire station, like you said, Mona, or you had to go to CPS and drop them off there. But never, ever should they have been in that situation where they in a van, and maybe it worked for a month, or maybe it worked for 2, I don't know, but it's just not right. And anybody that would have let them stay for any length of time still was going to have to give you a deadline.
Yeah.
So where is the motivation for you to do something other than sleep in your car? There's no way in hell I would have let that happen. No way. I got too many skills. Oh my God. I got too many skills that will get some money up in here. Don't play with me.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Shit, this thing work.
I'm with you.
That's my final thoughts.
Mona.
Oh my God. My final thought is my heart breaks for babies. Everybody knows that if they really know me well, I love babies. I will fight you, cuss you out, and go to jail behind a baby being neglected. So yeah, I felt so bad about the other 2 children and the young brother that survived, that they're definitely going to need some counseling.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a traumatic experience for them. I don't know how it's going to affect them, and in their life moving forward. The mother should be embarrassed that she did not raise her child right. And I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she did raise her right. Maybe she told her after the first baby, you don't need no more babies. Look at me. And the young girl did what she wanted to do. I could not have had 2 babies in diapers at the same time. I would lose my mind. Yeah. It's not cute. It's not a game to have children and bring children into this world, because we become these superheroes to our babies, and we're really not superheroes. And it's very tragic. She trying to deflect and put the blame on other
Everybody but
people
herself.
because she said she
Mhm.
did reach out. She did reach out of state. She did reach out to people that told her who to reach out to, and nothing happened. But like Adrian and Anisha alluded to, this should have never happened. You got a plan. You got a budget. You got to be disciplined. You got to sacrifice. You can't lose your job. Child care probably would have ate up everything that she got.
Yeah.
Unless her and her mama was on different shifts, but her mama got a baby.
Yeah.
You know, so to place that burden on outside people, and then for her cousins to show up afterwards to be on camera, that was a bad look. And this, I'm thinking about, she could call her cousin to come pick up the 9-year-old to rush him to the hospital, but you couldn't call the cousin to take one of them. Each cousin could have took one of them babies. I can't take all of them. See, that's why I say it take a village. We don't have a village. We don't have a sisterhood. There was a going around talking about that young lady and how trifling her and her mama was. And they was not going to help in no kind of way. Somebody could have took one of them babies.
Exactly.
Girl, you better get yourself up out of here. I'm going to keep the kids, and I'm going to keep them for how long it take. But you can't stay here.
Right.
You got to get yourself together, and you can come back and get your kids.
Exactly.
It's tragic. It's a tragedy, and it's awful. That's my final thought.
Yeah. But, and to piggyback off to that for my final thought, again, if you know you don't have no village, don't you put yourself in a risky behavior of having kids. I'm going to go right back to that as far as accountability, because as we learned in our community, all accountability falls on us, period.
Yeah,
our bodies, period. If you know you don't have a sisterhood, if you know you don't have a village, if you know you don't have the help, if you know this man is already showing signs that he's not going to be there, don't have sex with him. Do not bring a child into this world. Do not. Being a parent is a financial burden that you will have forever. Forever. It doesn't go away because they turn 18.
Or 38.
They're all, or 38 or 28 or 58. Yes. I am in my 40s. Occasionally, I will go to my parents and be like, hey, I got some questions. I need some help with, what's your thoughts on this? Like, I still go to them about things. We literally were just talking about stuff a few days ago. You know what I mean? So your kids will always need you. It's a commitment, a lifetime commitment. And if you know you can't do it, don't do it. If you know you have a high chance of doing it by yourself, don't do it. Do not do it. Look, we have a new president in office who already said they're doing away with welfare. They're doing away with Medicaid. They're doing away with Medicare. They're doing away with Affordable Act Care. They're doing away with Section 8. They're doing away with all of that. So you're not going to be able to rely on that either. So again, if you can't afford to take care of you, don't bring a child into this world, because the onus is always going to be on you, woman. It always is. No matter what, if he said, but he promised that he would, but he said that he was going, but he did. They always going to look at you. So don't do it.
Keep a nigga babies.
Do not do keep a nigga babies. Please don't do keep a nigga babies. Please don't. Because this man just proved. He just showed you with her. Like, she had that last one by him, and he still was like, Go ahead, Mona.
We got to stop giving these niggas, these baby daddies, grace. We give them grace. We don't give women grace. The ones that stay, the ones that accept that I'm going to be out here on my own, we don't give them grace. We tell them to keep their legs closed. We need to stop giving men grace. Whoever that boy is, if his homeboys need to be up in his ass right now, point blank period. I had to put that out there.
Yeah. I'm all for grace, but we know in the real world, in our community, we don't get grace.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. We need to stop it.
We don't get grace.
To stop giving men
because
grace.
We don't get grace, do not have children. Don't. You know, there was a YouTuber, I'm not saying their names, was saying back in the day, a few years ago, Black women, stop having babies. Stop having these kids. And people got offended by that shit. But she was spot on. Why would you have kids by somebody that's not going to be there? Why would you have kids by somebody that hates you? Why would you have kids by somebody that's going to sit there and tell the world you trapped them? Don't do it. Why would you have kids by somebody that's going to leave you to have to do this by yourself? Don't do it. Keep your legs closed. And I'm saying that as a single mom. I'm a single mom. And I know what it's like out there. I know how hard it can get. So don't do it. Don't put yourself in that position.
Right. And it's crazy because I have seen women that'll come into the welfare office and they'll ask, hey, they'll swear they don't know the baby daddy name, where he is, who he is, what he is, to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
But then the minute they money is short, they come in there and cuss everybody out in the welfare office.
Mm-hmm.
But you won't make this nigga be held accountable to take care of these babies. You scared he gonna get mad at you? Don't turn me into child support.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you ain't doing shit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I might as well try to get every dime I can from you.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to stop giving them passes.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't make that baby on your own. You probably shouldn't have laid up with his ass anyway. But now that they're here, get your paper.
Mona?
I'm a single mother too. And I got Nisha about almost 20 years. Things were a little bit simpler, a little bit easier. It's not getting easier for you young ladies right now. And that free ride that y'all thinking y'all getting,
They been getting.
It's gone.
don't be like that young lady. Because he's cutting everything. You need to get out there and get you a skill, get you a trade, get you a job. Forget about going to college because that take too long. You need to get you a skill because you can't be like that young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody got your back.
Mm-hmm.
Get your life together. Get it together because it's coming.
Yep. All right, y'all. So this is BGP. Please like, share, subscribe to our channel. If you feel like there's something that we left off or you would like us to cover, leave us a comment. And we always read the comments. So please feel free to do that. And we will create a post. We'll create an episode for you and shout you out for it too. So please like, share, subscribe to our channel.
And please listen to the broadcast in its entirety because y'all be missing on a lot of stuff. We watching the algorithm and y'all listening to 2 minutes for a 30-minute program.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Share our broadcast. It might help somebody. We ain't up here just cackling and cracking jokes. We trying to help somebody. We trying to help our people. Listen to the broadcast.
Yeah. And this is BGP, and we out.
Bye.